think Meta is about to F around and find out what that looks like in this new world of content moderation.
Oh, by the way, did you see the latest Zuck video that he did on his Instagram?
So first things first, whoever his PR team is needs an absolute raise ASAP. He did an incredible job in 5 minutes conveying so much information. I cannot be more excited about this. I think the Meta platforms have, over the past couple of years, kind of lost their touch a little bit. Like, for example, during election season, who was going to Facebook to get like news? It was just not happening, not acceptable. So I think that the team at Meta releasing some more of the content moderation restrictions to have the conversation a little bit more open, a little bit more free, is going to be great for both the user base and frankly the company in itself, because I think that the past few years their content moderation policies probably dampened a lot of the growth and engagement on the platform. So as a user, I think it's great and kind of rebirth the growth of Meta platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. To play devil's advocate here though, do you think there's a risk, especially during this transition time, where things will swing too far the other way and there will be lots of damaging even content on Meta?
Yeah, and I'll take some of the quotes that Zuckerberg said, where he's being really inspired by what X has been doing. And X, say what you will about, the previous events, but it allows for the conversation to unfold for good, bad, and a lot of times ugly. And I think Meta will be going through the same things. So when you open up discussions for more politics, more controversy, it will naturally lead to some ugliness. What I think will also happen is AI content will play a much bigger role in that misinformation and making it more believable. X, I think, has been, if there's one knock on the content moderation policies on X, it's sometimes the AI can get a little bit out of hand in how it's used. I think Meta is about to F around and find out what that looks like in this new world of content moderation. But overall, I want to restate, I do think it's a positive, but there will be some hard lessons learned.
Yeah, some growing pains for sure.
Exactly.
Also, I'm wondering, there is some concern that even for X, this might not be the right move overall. So there's some skeptics out there. Some of the conversation is politicized. Others look at the financials of like the acquiring price of X and now what it's valued at, and that was somehow related to Elon's management of the company, letting the sink in, having all that big firing, and then now having these community nodes. A lot of things have changed overall, and not everyone is convinced that the company is going towards a better product for the consumer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll probably skip the Elon management style for a different conversation too. As managers ourselves, I think we have some opinions. I think there's good lessons to be learned there. But from a social network perspective, controversial content has proven to be great for engagement, lead to more time spent on each respective platform. So, regardless of how the decisions on Meta were made and from a philosophical perspective or a company building perspective, they are really good for business building perspective. So allowing for these conversations to free flow, regardless of which side someone is on, is actually going to be really great for business. So even if user growth remains relatively flat, the time on, I can see having a double-digit increase as a percentage due to higher engagement and because of the topics being covered.
Perfect, because there are a lot of skeptics out there. On the other hand, your feed not looking completely like a bubble and seeing only the things that you want to see is triggering for humans, because it's normal, especially looking at the old Twitter. How it used to look a lot more compartmentalized, and so that people now, the barriers are breaking a little bit. they're starting to see a whole different side of things that maybe was there already, but they just weren't used to seeing.
I 100% agree. From the 5-minute talk that Zuckerberg did, I think the most shocking part was referencing X by name. That was the biggest surprise because Meta owns a competitor to X, Threads. In a lot of ways is almost like the anti-X, while the CEO and founder is saying we are now inspired by X. So what does that mean from like what kind of feed are you going to see? Is it going to be like all the things that you like, you know, that align with your political views, that are very Taylor Swift friendly, which is what a lot of Threads is from my experience. Maybe that's what the algorithm thinks I want to see. But now, to your point, you might get some things you don't want to see. But going back to the business part of it, it'll lead to more engagement. A reaction is good no matter what it is for the social media company. And maybe that's what Zuckerberg is seeing. It's not no longer compartmentalized. It's actually like, see what's happening, good, bad, and ugly. And that's what ultimately the platform was built to do. And I think he referenced that as well. And ultimately for business, it's going to be good for engagement purposes.
Beautiful. All that's left to see for us to wait and actually see how it plays out, but it's exciting times for sure. Totally. Thank you so much.